to the Creative Push. Today we have Christa Schoenbrodt, who is a graphic designer and an illustrator and also does lettering. Welcome, Christa.
Thank you, Sherry.
Tell us a little bit about what you do and give us a little bit of background history of where you started and how you came to be where you are today with your art.
I'm one of those fortunate people who knew early on I wanted to be an artist. I drew as a kid pictures of my pets. I had a fabulous art teacher in high school who taught me all these different mediums, and she loved Georgia O'Keeffe, so I loved anybody that she loved. Georgia O'Keeffe became a huge influence. So I decided to go to college. Art history was full of different people to explore, and there's so many illustrators out there that have inspired me. And put myself through an internship, a design studio in Louisiana, which is where I went to school. I worked work study with LSU Publications and learned an immense amount of what the business was like, the stuff you didn't learn in college. I felt really fortunate that I had those steps along the path.
What do you see in your future?
I try not to pin it down too much, but I'll tell you what I'd like is to have a little bit more freedom to move about. And computers have made that possible now, and especially this past year because of the pandemic. So many people are Zooming and working remotely. It makes it more acceptable. I love working from home, which is where I've worked for 25 years now. But there are things I'd love to see in the world, and just to be able to work from the road would be a nice thing to do.
Has the pandemic changed your business? Did it affect your business?
Yeah, it definitely affected my business because a lot of the clients that I have do events. And so a lot of those events were canceled, and they're still being canceled. The festival I was supposed to work on for this weekend was just canceled. It was a little bit of an innovative twist. I wear many hats. I also teach yoga. And I'm so grateful to have clients who wanted to continue practicing. That was a real gift to me to be able to do that. But it also opened the door for exploring. I don't know that I would have applied for this Tennessee Craft, the Apprenticeship Program. I don't know that I would have run across it if it hadn't been for the pandemic. On some level, it's actually fostered the creativity a little bit more.
Do you have any strange or odd collections?
I love that question. It's so full of possibility. But yes, I'd probably have way more than most. I mean, I have houseplants that are from college. That's one of the things that I like to collect. And then I also collect from nature. I have feathers all over my house and rocks. I love to spot heart-shaped things in nature. I'll take photographs of those things. I think most artists tend to collect. It's an inspiring thing, and experiences are a big one too. Trying something new, always trying to learn something new.
Moving forward, is there anything you haven't learned yet that you'd like to learn?
I'm hoping to learn how to sew with this textile apprenticeship. I've got all of these things that I've printed that I'd love to turn into pillows and maybe shower curtains and tablecloths, table linens. I'd love to learn how to sew just basic stuff. I'm teaching myself how to embroidery on the very simple level, as simple as I can make it. So that's one. And then I'd love to learn how to do an online shop where I can sell these things.
Do you have any upcoming events or art exhibits or art shows or anything that you're sharing your work in?
Yeah, actually, the Apprentice Program, it culminates in an exhibit. It will be here in Nashville, Jeanne and two other master artists, and then their apprentices. So that will be interesting. I'm really excited to be a part of that. This is going to be 3 apprentices and 3 master artists.
Do you have any advice that you'd like to offer to up and coming artists or someone who might want to get into illustration or design?
As it pertains to graphic design, I would probably advise people to work with those who treat you with respect, because all of us who are working professionals for ourselves, freelancing or otherwise, we've had those instances where we work with people because we need the money, and they aren't necessarily people who treat us with respect. Try to work with people who are respectful, not only of me, but of others. The other thing is to take care of your body. That, to me, as you get older, if you're in the creative field, a lot of us creatives, we tend to sit a lot all day, or we're standing in the same position. Take care of your body by eating well and moving, whether it's yoga or something else. I just find that to be really important as I get older. One of the things for me is I'm overly ambitious. And that has been a great thing for me, but it also has made me a little neurotic as a business owner to want to do it all. So I have to remind myself to take things slow and not think I have to do it all. It's good to slow down sometimes and not feel so rushed to accomplish everything that's on the list. Is I feel like on some level as a creative, you have to trust without knowing what the end result's going to be. I mean, sometimes you just have to keep at what you feel inspired to create. Sometimes it just leads the way. It's the way my career started. I was laid off from an ad agency after working there for 5 years. And I just picked up myself off the ground. And then suddenly it just started coming. People sent me work. One thing led to another. And so I was freelancing while I was working at the agency, but the work does come. I mean, there are definitely the valleys, but those peaks, they do come back. A lot of it is trying to innovate. COVID, I hate to say it because not everybody's had this experience, but in some ways it has felt like a little bit of a gift for the creative process. And there's another term that was introduced to me many years ago, which I often draw from it, is called joyful effort. There are many times when I'm going through a phase of my business or life where I'm not really sure what's happening. I'm confused, I'm stuck, all these different things. And then I just have to say to myself, joyful effort. And that's all it takes to snap me out of that, whatever it is, whether it's a pity party or just angst. It just snaps me out of that and says, okay, just do what you can with joy and as much wisdom as you possibly can. There's a lot of assistance just from those two words that comes to me creatively. Okay.
Thank you so much for your time and for letting me do this interview with you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate it so much.